High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime, sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between.
Hello everyone, welcome to Overtime, your weekly hot spot for high school football. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. COVID-19 severely altered this weekend's schedule. Boylan, Belvedere North, Guilford, Mendota, North Boone, and Rock Falls all went into quarantine, wiping out their games this weekend. And then late this afternoon, we learned that Genoa Kingston has gone in COVID protocols and had to cancel its game with Rockford Lutheran.
So the story this week is as much who isn't playing as it is who is playing. It's a shame, especially because the players on those teams and their coaches have worked so hard. It's just another blow in a challenging year. Now, Stillman Valley coach Mike Lawler will join us in a bit to discuss that. His Cardinals were greatly impacted this week.
And I'll bring you a feature story where I literally try to put my best foot forward. It's a story on Freeport kicker Joe Namio. Let's get to the highlights, and we start with the Nick 10. A championship of Division B was up for grabs tonight at Swanson Stadium.
Freeport and East were both 3-1 going into this one. The E-Rabs have been ridiculous the past 3 weeks, outscoring their three opponents 168-13. The E-Rabs have so many exciting running backs, including this freshman, Terrence Dotson, coming our way. That's a 26-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Later, it's the main man, C.J. Berry, with his patented spin move to break tackles. He's going to sail downfield. He'll be shoved out after 36 yards of the 5. Kyrie Shirley got him. Kingston Hogglebook going to take over from there. He's the power guy. He made it a 30-7 East lead in the second quarter. How about East defense? Tyrese Cunningham comes flying off the edge and smothers Corian Ewell. Now back to the East run game, and a huge hole opens up for Hogglebook. This is going to be a 38-yard pickup. Hold on to that football, young man. Coach Griff says, hey, let's get some more. And Barry will get more. He emerges out of the crowd, and forget about it. He goes 28 yards to the end zone. Barry rushed for 263 yards and 3 touchdowns. The E-Rabs is a team rush for almost 500 yards. The E-Rabs win at 52-6. They raise the record to 4-1. They are the undisputed champions of Division B in the Nick 10. Can you feel the joy of the E-Rabs and E-Rab Nation? Let's hear from the champs. What's the difference with the E-Rabs now between the E-Rabs we saw in Week 1 against the Boylan Titans?
We got a lot of chemistry. We got a lot of chemistry, and we just kept on getting to the weight room, getting faster during practice, getting along with each other, and just filling out how we normally play.
It's been a rough season for a lot of teams, but this is going to go down as one of the greatest seasons in East history. What's it mean to you to be a part of all this, huh?
It means a lot. I've seen these guys develop from freshman year to senior year, and it's a big change from my appearance to CJ to everybody. I feel like we're just more around complete team, and we're going to be hard to beat.
We've gotten better every week. Our guys have worked hard, and we've just been doing a good job blocking and tackling. So it's been working out for us.
Yeah, Coach Griff is all about blocking and tackling. Tim Bailey's all about breaking down games. He joins us right now. Tim, we saw East in Week 1 against Boylan. They look like a completely different team right now. What's the difference you're seeing in the E-Rabs?
Well, the difference I'm seeing is just, they're playing with a little bit more enthusiasm. They're executing better on offense and defense. So also 2 special teams. And when you do that, along with some great coaching, good things are to happen. So, congratulations to the E-Rabs. But right now, they are a hot team. I wouldn't want to see these guys in the next week or 2.
And one of the key reasons to them being so successful is running back C.J. Berry. Is he an MVP candidate, you think, for the conference?
I would have to say so. I think C.J.'s up there. He's definitely top 5 in the conversation. You have to throw him in there. He's electric. He can do some things in the open field that many can't. He's got breakaway speed. He's a track guy. Obviously, you see that tonight with the 52-yard run. Once he gets to to the second and third
He's
level,
gone, yeah.
Yeah, it's Christmas. So, East has a lot of running backs, though. He's not the only running back in that backfield, but he does give East a lot at the running game.
How about the defense, Tim? After the first quarter, they completely shut down Freeport. They've given up just 20 points the last 4 games now.
Yeah, defense is played lights out. Look what they did with Jefferson last week, and look what they did with Freeport. Freeport just can get the offense going. Freeport's got a phenomenal receiver in Shirley, and I think they limited him to only like four catches. So, hats off to the defensive side of the ball with the E-Rabs. They just keep playing hard. And again, like I said before, I think, the ERABs have made a statement, in the Nick 10. And they're hungry, they want to play. And I think next week's game is going to really be a great one.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that in just a minute. Tomorrow, the Division A title of the Nick 10 was supposed to be up for grabs. Boylan was supposed to play Harlem. But that game's canceled, David.
Yeah, that game's canceled because Boylan has had some positive COVID tests. A big blow for the Titans, who now finished their season having only played 3 games because their game last week against Auburn was canceled because Auburn was under COVID protocols. It's also a big disappointment to the Harlem players who wanted a chance to see if they could beat Boylan. The Huskies literally found out the game was off as they were headed to the practice field.
It just sucks. Same as last week with Hano, I wanted to beat them. We did that, so coming in with Boylan, I wanted to beat them one more time since I haven't beat them since my freshman year. Sucks. It hurts.
This is the game we were ready for all year, and I don't know, it's just hard it's just hard. We've been people been doubting us, saying, yeah, we might lose in that, but we've been working all season, and only the game will tell, but now we can't play, so it's just sad a little bit, it's just sad.
Harlem's already rescheduled a new opponent for Saturday afternoon. The Huskies will host Crystal Lake Prairie Ridge at 1 o'clock. I know I'm disappointed about not getting to see that game. Tim, as a Boylan grad, how disappointed are you not being able to get to see that?
I'm disappointed. I think this could have been the Nick 10 championship in my eyes. I know East is playing really well right now, but when you have athletes on both sides of the ball, the caliber of athletes that you have on the Boylan side and on the Harlem side, these are the games you want to see. And I think coaches want to see these types of games. This game had a lot of momentum going in, a lot of hype. It's just unfortunate that this has happened. With the COVID protocol. But what can you do? You got to move on.
I think the perception around the conference is Harlem will be an overwhelming favorite. But my eyes were popping tonight watching East. How big of a difference do you think there is, or is there really no difference? Can the ERAB's run game work against Harlem?
I think it can. They're going to have to be disciplined. Harlem's a really good team, and they don't give up a lot of points defensively. But I think if East can, they're going to build off this win. You've seen week by week they've gotten better and better and better. East is a type of team, I think, that's going to actually rise to the occasion next week, and they're going to give Harlem a challenge.
The ERABs certainly believe in themselves right now, and they're making me a believer too. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Tim. There was another Nick 10 game tonight at Wyatt Stadium. Belvedere took on Jefferson. Both teams were looking for their first wins. We'll pick it up with the Jayhawks on offense with the football, looking to throw it. But this one's going nowhere because Justin Dennis is there for the tackle. Bucks football now, and Jovi Alvarez wants to throw it. And the sophomore has John Urbieta for the first down. And that would lead to this next play. Watch big number 51, Calvin Cardenas, get into the backfield and throw down Michael Loading. Caden Finistat now will try a 32-yard field goal. Oh yeah, he's got it by plenty. Belvedere gets his first win, shutting out the Jayhawks 24-0. As we said at the top of the show, it's been a crazy week with teams adjusting to COVID cancellation.
Stillman Valley had to adjust schedules and opponents not once, but twice. We'll visit with Stillman Valley coach Mike Lawler to get some perspective on what it's been like and how much desire there is to continue this season for another week.
A lot of teams had to adjust their schedules this week. Stillman Valley did it not once, but twice. The Cardinals game against North Boone was canceled early in the week because North Boone is in quarantine. So the Cardinals rescheduled Rock Falls, and then Thursday Rock Falls had to go into quarantine. So Stillman Valley had to reschedule again and go with Plan C. I spoke with Stillman coach Mike Lawler earlier on Zoom to get some perspective on what this week's been like.
As of now, we're playing Dixon. Yeah, it's been just I've never had a week anything remotely close to something like this here. So as you said, we were originally planning on actually playing North Boone, but they got knocked out with Oregon having a situation, and then we went on to Rock Falls. They have a situation then about 2 days later, so then they're out. And so as of today, we're playing Dixon. So we've literally prepped for 3 teams in 5 days here at this point, trying to get a game in this week.
I mean, do you just forget about game planning at this point and just say, guys, let's go out there and do what we do and do it to the best of our ability?
Yeah, that's really kind of what you got to do. You know, I think I just sort of get into your base defenses, your base offenses, and get out and play, and we'll try to adjust during the game, and I'm sure they'll do the same. But it is nowhere near the normal prep, and yet at the same time, it's been 3 times the amount of prep as you do. You're trying to give them the very best chance, to go into a game prepared, but it's unlike, like I said, anything I've ever done before.
I personally have really enjoyed the football the first 4 weeks of the season. The competition's been great. There's been a lot of great plays, some good games. But this week, hearing about all these teams having to deal with COVID has kind of taken some of the air out of my balloon. It's got to be the same with the players and the kids. Is this still fun to play football right now when you're constantly, scrambling like you guys have been?
Yeah, you try to get kind of a pulse with the kids. They seem to be okay with it. I think maybe in some ways, maybe they're handling it better than the adults are a little bit at times. That, ultimately we're trying to keep it that it's still a game. And that's ultimately what we were hoping to do this spring, is that we could play games. And so we can continue with those. But at the same point, I'm sure it's been confusing to them as well. And this week in particular, as all of a sudden we've got a lot of schools that this has affected very, very quickly. And so this will be interesting to see where this finishes out, even say next week, as it seemed to really gather steam this week.
Is there any hesitation at all about trying to finish out the season next weekend? Does that even cross your mind, or are you just dead set on, hey, if we can play and we're healthy and we can find a team that's healthy to play, we're going to play?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan. I where I would see we get into some issues is if by chance Oregon cannot play, and then your options become, say big 6, 7, 8A schools, that I don't think that's probably in our best interest. When you start matching up with people that are just considerably larger than you, and you're putting your kids at risk when you've made it this far. I don't know if that would exactly be a real wise choice. And well, I just tell you right now that every 24 hours, this thing changes so much that to even look ahead to next Friday or Saturday at this point, you hope you can get there. You hope everything will be okay, but boy, it's a long ways away all of a sudden.
Thanks, Coach Lawler. Expect the unexpected this year. That's the theme. But it's great to see the cooperation between the schools that are able to reschedule these games so quickly.
Yeah, no doubt. They're making every effort to give their kids a chance to compete. Well, coming up in a bit, the best kicker in the Nick 10 gives me a few pointers on how to properly boot a field goal.
I got to see that, but next we get back to the highlights. We have action from Lena Winslow to Calvin Sycamore. You're watching Overtime. Well, the headline game in the NUIC tonight took place in Lena.
The 2-1 Panthers hosted 4-0 Galena. Galena starts with the ball here, and they start off with a bang. Ethan Heffel takes the snap, fakes it, rolls, and launches to a wide-open Kalita Newton downfield. That's 80 yards for the score, 7-0 Galena. Lee win ball now. Luke Benson hands off to Evan England on the sweep. Isaac Summers puts a stop to that run, though. England fumbles the ball, and Ethan Heffel recovers for Galena. Following the turnover, Heffel takes a snap for Galena, pump fakes, takes a shot at the end zone, but it's picked off by Zach White. Lee Win gets the ball right back. Panthers would then turn the INT into points as Luke Benson hands off to Ethan Fye, and he does the rest. The scoreless second half for both teams means Lena Winslow picks up the 14-7 win. Also in the NUIC, a couple blowouts as Stockton put a beating on East Dubuque 40-6, and Milledgeville took it to Amboy 50-14. And in a non-conference game, Orangeville couldn't get much going offensively as the Blue Bullets of Knoxville High School won 26-6.
There will be 3 games in the NUIC tomorrow. At 10 a.m., Rockford Christian will play West Carroll at Freeport's Pretzel Stadium. 11 a.m., EPC will play DuPac at Auburn's Wyeth Stadium. And at 7 p.m., the big one in prime time, Akron plays at Forreston.
Knock on wood. There will be 2 big Northern Conference games played tomorrow. Stillman Valley plays at Dixon at 2 o'clock, and Byron will play at Winnebago at 7 o'clock. In other area games tonight, the Rochelle Hubs were in Sycamore to face the Spartans. Sycamore jumped on them early and often. Eli Meyer drops back and slings it on the post to Ben Herman, streaking down the middle. He's untouched for the first score of the game. Spartan Nation loving what their offense was doing, and can you blame them? Here's Meyer again, dropping back from the shotgun, heaving it up. This time, Xavier Gagne coming down with it in the end zone for the TD. Rochelle's defense did make a big stop right before the half as Meyer goes to check it down, but Ethan Albers picks him off. The Spartans move to 5-0 with the 33-7 win over Rochelle. At DeKalb, the Barbs hosted Neuqua Valley. Here's DeKalb just inside the red zone. Trenton Kyler tries to link up with his receiver Toriano Tate, but he goes outside and Kyler throws inside. That's about as easy an interception as you're going to see. Nicholas Lendino takes it all the way back to the house for the Wildcats. But the two of them got their redemption on this play here. Kyler in the shotgun, looking left, and in the back corner of the end zone, links up with Tate to tie it up at 7. Neuqua Valley answered just before halftime. Throwing it up is Mark Meneke. And coming down with it is Justin Nonenman. The Kyler-Tate combo was simply spectacular. Here they are in the second half as Tate beats his man. Kyler just floats it up to him, lets him make the play for the touchdown. And how about the sportsmanship here to help the defender up? You'll see here in a second. DeKalb did drop this one, though, 28-21. Don't go anywhere because there's still one more Toriano Tate highlight to come in our play of the night.
In 8-man football, the Polo Marcos fell to River Ridge 38-6. Another 8-man game takes place tomorrow between South Beloit and Alden Hebron. Up next, we have a feature story on a Freeport pretzel who can kick the football a long way.
And we'll see if he could make a kicker out of me. Nowadays, there's only one way to describe the kicking game at the high school level, and that is that it's pretty much non-existent. But that's not the case for the Freeport Pretzels, who have an exceptional kicker. His name is Joe Namio. I got the chance to spend some time with him and see if my right leg was up to the challenge of being a kicker. What's the most important thing in kicking that I should be concerned about?
Probably just contact on the ball.
Okay.
Like if you have consistent contact with your foot.
Okay. So what's the furthest that you've ever kicked?
I made one from 55 this summer. The other day when we had the ridiculously fast winds, I made one from 60, but I'm not going to count that because...
You gotta count it.
Oh, well, I mean, technically, but...
You gotta count that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been kicking for?
Since 8th grade, so about 5 years.
Okay. I know you play soccer, right?
Yep.
What position are you in soccer?
I'm mainly defense.
What's your favorite football team, and what's your favorite football team?
Favorite football team is Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I was thinking you might say Bears or Packers.
Yeah,
okay.
Packers. Favorite football team, that's a hard one. Probably Bayern Munich.
Bayern?
Yeah.
Okay. What's a better feeling, scoring a game-winning goal or kicking a game-winning field goal?
Yeah, I'd say game-winning extra point because it's all on you. Field goals, it's still a team effort, but everyone looks at the kicker and they don't usually see everything that goes into it.
Right. Why don't you show me how it's done, then I'll attempt and then you can critique me.
Okay. Line it up, 2 steps over.
Right down the pipe. So kind of walk me through your mentality when you're going out there to kick a field goal. What's going through your mind?
Try to stay confident. Once you have the thought of you missing in your head, you're gonna miss. That's kind of what I realized. That's kind of.
So I got to think right now.
Just think I'm gonna make this.
I'm gonna make this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little concerned about hitting the team that's right over there, but I'm gonna do my best not to do that.
Stretch your groins.
I'm so concerned that I'm gonna hit somebody here. Oh! That wasn't as bad as I thought that was.
That's promising.
I'll take that. Only up from here, though. We gotta get it going higher.
If that's as bad as it is, I think you're looking pretty good.
All right. Let's try this again.
Second try.
That's how it's done. I mean, it's in. It's not pretty, but it's in.
Perfect. That was a very good ball.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, that was really good.
What do you say? Should we back it up? 5 yards?
Let's go back 5 yards.
All right. Every time I make it, we'll try and back it up. Okay?
Deal.
Oh, wow.
I think we back it up a little more.
All right, let's back it up. Get it! Yes!
That's good.
That's how it's done.
35 yards.
Coach, you need a kicker? You need a second kicker? I think I got some eligibility left.
Let me just say, How impressed I am with your kicking.
Thank you. I was pleasantly surprised with how well I did. I also want to thank Joe for coaching me up. I couldn't have done it without him. And to Coach Dedman for letting me take up some of his practice time. Thankfully, I did not kick it into any of his guys standing off to the side. Joe has taken his powerful leg to St. Ambrose next year, where he'll kick for the Fighting Bees football team.
We're going to be right back. We wrap up this show with our play of the night.
Like I said, we're going back to DeKalb for Mr. Toriano Tate. Let me preface with this. This is one of the best catches I've seen at the high school level. Tate's going for the ball. He's getting interfered with, but he's able to maintain body control and somehow come down with this one-handed grab. As you look at it again in slow motion, an unbelievable catch, very much so deserving of our play of the night. Be sure to join us each Friday at this time for Overtime. We also rebroadcast the show Sunday mornings at 9 on Fox 39.
And remember, for highlights and scores anytime, go to our website, mystateline.com. And coaches, if you want David to kick for you, his email is?
It is dgreenberg at fox39.com.
All right. The Bears would have taken you a year ago before Kyra Santos.
I know, Cody Parks. Anyway.
That does it for this episode.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Overtime, sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between.